I'm here with my dad, and I'm going to ask him a few questions for the Where I Fit in the Story History of America's project. So, Dad, where did our family come from?
We have records that show that our family came from Germany.
So we know that through records. Nice. How many generations can you trace back from your parents?
From my parents, I can go back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 generations back from my father, her grandfather.
Wow. Can you give us some of those names, places of birth?
I can. Her grandfather's name is Peter William, and Peter William was born in Mountain City, Tennessee. And then Peter's father's name was Burley Herbert, and he was also born in Mountain City, Tennessee. And then go back the next generation, Burley's father was named Walter Garfield. Walter Garfield was born in 1879 and died in 1938. And then his father was Peter Parker. Peter Parker was born in 1833 and then died in 1903. Peter Parker's father was John's Shell. I actually had an S on the end. And I don't have the date of his birth or death. John's father was Leonard Shell. Leonard was born in 1771 in Virginia. And then his father's name was Isaac. Don't have Isaac's date, but he was the one who came to America from Germany. And then his father's name was Johannes. And at that time, our name is spelled S-H-O-U-N. At that time, it was spelled S-C-H-A-U-N. And it was Leonard who changed it to S-H-O-U-N.
Thanks, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we have any veterans in our family?
We do. I don't have specific names, but we had family members that were all the way back to the Civil War. We had several that were in World War I and World War II. And now we currently have a nephew that's a Marine. So, I forgot to tell you. Leonard had 18 children, which is the reason why the Shell tree has spread quite a bit when he was in Mountain City. But he had 4 wives.
That's a little different. Mm-hmm. So, can you tell me any stories about our family?
I have a few stories that we have thought about, and I've asked my father, her grandfather, about some of these. Burley, who would be her great-grandfather, was a twin, and so his name was Worley. It was Burley and Worley. And what's interesting about Worley is Worley ended up dying when he was 12 years old. He was at school playing, and they were throwing rocks, and a boy threw a rock and hit him in the head and killed him.
Oh, my goodness.
So he died when he was 12. My parents still have a lot of our family ancestry's stuff that's been handed down, and my father was telling me that he has a pocketbook, is what they used to call it for men back when they first came over, that is like a wallet of Leonard Shell. So he has that. He also said they have a chair that is specially hand-built by Leonard for one of his wives because she was a very large woman. And she could not fit in some of the regular chairs, so he built, and that chair is sitting at my parents' house right now. One thing that I remember is when I was in high school, probably about your age, they had a Shell family reunion in Mountain City, Tennessee, that I went to. And we were at the reunion, and this lady who was from Germany, because she spoke German and no English, she came up and she started being real excited and started hugging me. And I didn't know what she was saying. We couldn't communicate with her. And then somebody came over and started translating, and she said that I looked exactly like her son. And she said it was incredible, the likeness, that we looked exactly like each other.
Huh.
So that was pretty neat. We have a deed. My father has the safe of Peter Parker Shell, which is a great big, weighs a couple 1,000 pounds. You can't even move it. But in that safe is a deed, and a deed essentially is when you buy a piece of property, you get a deed to tell you what the property is. And this was back when he first got to the United States, and it's in Virginia. But the way that it expresses how the land, what property is what's funny. It says 170 poles, which that's an old style of measurement, a pole. So the land was designated by 170 poles to the top of the hill, then back down the hill to where the spotted cow is standing. And that was actually a legal document of what piece of property that he owned. I think that's about all the stories I had.
Wow. Do we have any genealogical records? If so, where are they?
We have, my father has at his home, he has books that are written by a guy named Bill Miller. And he did a full genealogy study and went all the way back to where, I think my father said he can go back, it's either 16 or 18 generations of the Shelm family. So a lot of these, after Johannes, you could go back and even find out more of those. There's 8 books total because he separated the books as it would go to different branches, but he has all those books at his house, and so you can trace it all the way back. And in that book, it tells the Leonard, and then it would tell his sons, his daughters, and it would show their lineage and the sons' lineage. So these generations are just direct linkage of the sons that carried the Shelm name.
Yeah, that is so cool. Well, thank you very much for doing this interview for me. That was good. Good job. You can press pause. You can end it now.